What's going on, everybody? Teddy Baldassarre from teddybaldassarre.com. In this video, we're going to be looking at a watch available for purchase on my website with the Raymond Weil Moonphase. So at any point throughout this video, if you have any questions about this piece, feel free to hit the link in the description to the product page where you can also purchase the watch. You can also ask us questions on live chat and also book a call with me directly if you're on the fence about purchasing. So guys, let's take a closer look at this watch. Now, first looking at a rundown of the specs, we have a case size of 39.5 millimeters, thickness of 9.8 millimeters, lug width of 20 millimeters, lug to lug of 44 millimeters, water resistance of 50 meters. Crystal is sapphire. Price on this one, we're looking at $1,395 to $1,595, depending on the variant and style for this Maestro Moonphase line. And then code, if you use Maestro Moon at checkout, you can get a free strap with your purchase of this piece on the website. Now, it probably isn't news to you in the world of watches that it can be overwhelming at times when it comes to the variety available. Amongst the variety out there, there are plenty of brands that span all different styles, but I think now there is just an unfortunate reality where the status or hype can kind of be the leading factor in what catches steam and popularity. But for those that just want simply a no-nonsense, well-made watch, there's a short list of brands that I think do a very good job in just bypassing all of the extra baggage and consumer trends, with that being the main focus. And one of the brands that I think exemplifies this very well is a Swiss independent brand, Raymond Weil. So Raymond Weil was founded in Geneva in 1976. The company has been family owned and operated since its start by Raymond Weil himself, and now is one of the largest independently owned Swiss watchmakers in the world, producing well-constructed watches for the money and commonly do not get covered that often. The watch that we have here today fits all the classic descriptions of a timeless dress watch with their Maestro Moonphase. And the one that we're going to be highlighting here today is coming in this rose gold PVD case. And for those familiar with the Moonphase, know how pricey they can tend to get. So I think this one could turn some heads for those looking in this direction to add this complication. First, looking at this piece on the wrist, we have a case size of 39.5 millimeters and a thickness just under 10 millimeters, and a pretty compact lug to lug of 44 millimeters. So to put it simply, I think Raymond Weil really nailed the size here. I think anything over 40 millimeters for a dress watch kind of just pushes the limits to what the idea of a dress watch should be. But in this instance, we have, in my opinion, a great size for a modern dress watch, which offers presence while working with a variety of different wrists out there and easily being able to slide underneath the dress cuff. The case is in stainless steel, it has a PVD coating, and comes in a consistent high polish throughout the case on all sides. Between the lugs, we have a lug width of 20 millimeters that is going to offer a variety of different options for straps out there. And if you do buy this watch, you can get a free strap with your purchase, so definitely use that promo code as mentioned earlier. Now, the factory strap that comes on this is calfskin, so it's kind of embossed to resemble genuine alligator, and tapers heavily down at 16 millimeters at the buckle. On this watch, we do have a deployment buckle to match the color of the case here, and I can't say I'm a big fan of it though, and probably is the weakest feature on this watch overall, as it's a bit finicky to lock, and when it does, it makes the strap kind of wear a bit lopsided on the wrist and how it bends. But all this again can be put to rest if you just throw a third-party option on this piece. At the 3 o'clock, the watch can be operated in traditional fashion with the use of the crown, hand winding at the first position, changing the date or the Moonphase at the second position, and stopping the second hand when pulling out to the farthest position in order to adjust the time as well. Looking within the sapphire crystal, we have a pretty interesting dial here with a mix of different textures that really work well when paired together. First, the most notable aspect is at the 6 o'clock, there is an open aperture showcasing the Moonphase on full display. The disc comes in a striking metallic blue and works well with the golden accents of the case. Along the outside of the dial, there is a line minute track set within fine notches along the dial outskirts. Stepping one layer inward, we have large black Roman markings that are set on a fine-grained concentric finish that surrounds the dial at the centermost point. And in that area, it really showcases a wave, kind of serpentine finish that really adds a bit of texture and calls attention to the Maestro overall. Lastly, at the 3, we have a date window, and at the center, golden stick hands to match the color of the golden accents that we have seen throughout. And I think it's safe to say that this is a kind of safe design overall. It's kind of appealing to that classic dress watch with a Moonphase, but I think it really is elevated when you kind of add in those different dynamics with the myriad of kind of finishes that's taking place here. Now, flipping the Maestro over, we have view through an open case back of a Sellita SW280. So this movement is one of the most popular third-party movement options out there for a Moonphase complication. It's a Swiss-made movement from a third-party provider, Sellita, and is just now really gained a lot of ground in terms of overall popularity given ETA and their kind of gains with production. And I've definitely seen this with independent manufacturers, given that they usually have a lot more production that they have to sustain, and if their production was pulled away by a manufacturer like Etta, that could cause a lot of issues for their overall output. But with this movement, you're getting one that is nice, it's reliable, it's also very easy to service in comparison to other in-house movements that are typically more expensive to begin with, let alone the cost of ownership down the road. Now this movement is going to operate at 28,800 vibrations per hour, 4 hertz, features hacking and hand winding, hacking stopping the second hand when pulling out the crown to the farthest position, and has a power reserve of 38 hours. And these are all going to be regulated and tested. This one's coming in at a time of 5 seconds a day, so just kind of some expectation here in terms of usually what you're going to be seeing from these Raymond Weil pieces. They're going to be usually in single digits in terms of accuracy. Okay, so now just to unpack looking at this Raymond Weil piece, and first looking at some things that are maybe more on the negative side. I think the first thing is the deploying class. I'm not a big fan of it. I don't think that it's a great deploying class for the money. I think you could probably go for a third-party option that's going to be a little bit better. I do have some on my site. In addition, I think this is part of its appeal, but also maybe for somebody that's looking in this direction, it could be a negative as well, which is just the fact that it's a pretty safe design. It's simple. It's more that classic dress watch, but I don't think you can really put too much against this one just because that's probably the appeal, and that's definitely the intention behind this piece. And I think that leads into kind of some of the positives, which is the fact that this has very clean looks in terms of what it's providing. A Moonphase complication as well for this amount of value. I think this is very good. It's very hard to find Moonphase complications with this level of finishing on the dial. Around this, I'd say $1,000 price range is usually where you start getting into these, and I think this one is very well positioned in the marketplace. In addition, I think you have a very wearable case size. 39.5 millimeters, I think, is a little bit on the larger end for a dress watch, but still, this is, I think, going to make a lot of people happy. It's giving people that like the larger case sizes than dress watch something to be happy about, while not sizing out people with smaller wrists as well. I feel very comfortable putting this one on. And then also you're getting serviceable movement, which I think goes without being said going into the world of Sellita. There's a lot of parts out there. It's a lot easier than in-house movements. And then finally, I think there's some type of intrigue with Raymond Weil. I think they're a great independent brand. Don't get mentioned very often. I don't think that's for any valid reason because they make a great product for the money. And I think this is a great example of that. So guys, thank you again so much for watching. If you did enjoy the video, thumbs up, subscribe, and hit the bell icon. We are a full authorized dealer of Raymond Weil watches. It comes with a full factory warranty with any purchase. You'll get that peace of mind with that purchase as well. And if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us directly. We have a live chat as well as a place where you can call us directly and book a call with me. So guys, thank you again so much for watching. Be well, and I will see you all very soon.